Hey everybody, it is Nikki with Delicate Tension Tarot. Glad to be back. I was gone, just kind of on hiatus for the month of January. There was a lot going on. Energetically, it was just a conundrum of a month. We had the eclipse, we had Saturn and Pluto go conjunct, which was really, I mean, they're just things that are intense, right? And it can bring up a lot of stuff, whether it's from the past, whether it has to do with the present. And it's things that we really have to sift and work through. There wasn't really anything externally for me that was causing an issue. It was more so the internal aspects. And when I get like that, it's really hard for me to focus during readings, even for personal readings. I had to really make sure that I was in a good space before I said yes. Because people are paying good money, I should be able to give them a great reading. So yeah, I'm glad to be back. I don't know when I'm going to be doing bi-weeklies or if I will anymore. I'm kind of already seeing a difference with just a couple of videos that I've posted for it being just one monthly. If you would prefer for me to go back to doing bi-weeklies, just drop a comment down below and I definitely will take it into consideration. But I'm kind of done going through that. This will be a reading for the sign of Gemini, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, or if you just have a lot of Gemini placements in your natal chart. For example, I have, I think, 4 or 5 placements in Sagittarius, so I really embody a lot of that energy at times. So yeah, if you know your astrology chart, if you don't, you can go to Cafe Astrology and you can look at your own chart to see what's going on there. Also, this is a general reading. It's not going to resonate with everybody. So if it doesn't resonate with you, you can always watch your moon, rising, Venus, or whatever strong placement you have in your chart as well to see if that resonates more with you. Or you can check out all the other amazing readers that are here available on YouTube. So yeah, let's see what's going on for Gemini. Show me what's happening for Gemini, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus for the month of February, please. Show me what's happening for Gemini. This is the card I think it's going to be. We have the Two of Cups. When I first cracked the deck open, the Lovers in reverse and the Ace of Cups was there. So I feel like you've definitely made a clean break from something and you're now looking at new opportunities or people when it comes to love. It may even just be having really close friendships around you at this time because the Two of Cups can represent that as well. It's just being around a person or people who really are very similar to you. If they're not similar to you, they just feel like home. It's a very comfortable thing. You may share a lot of the same interests. But whatever it is, there's a healing aspect to the relationship with the star that wanted to come out. So yeah, there's a lot of healing that can be done in this situation or this relationship. So let's see what's crossing you, what the help or the hindrance is here. What is the help or hindrance for Gemini for the month of February? I almost wanted to say September, so maybe there's something connected to September with us. You have the Ten of Wands, so it's quite possible that maybe one of you is still kind of in the home stretch when it comes to dealing with your own personal burdens or situations. There might be something you're still carrying with you from the past. If it is having to do with something from the past, then it's probably the last 10 weeks or 10 months. You might possibly still be working through some things that went on in that time. So let's see what's happening here in your subconscious. I wish I would have started a timer. I'm trying to be really good about time because the camera will just cut off at 30 minutes. So let's see what's going on in your subconscious here. We have the Ace of Wands. So you could be feeling very, you know, I'll put it very simply. You could be feeling very aroused. Your passions could be ignited at this time, especially when it comes to this specific individual. Or individuals. I feel the need to say individuals, even though we only see the Two of Cups here. or there could be passions rekindled, or you're just thinking of a new opportunity or direction that you could be going in at this time if this doesn't have anything to do with the relationship. Show me what's happened in the recent past for Gemini, please. We have the Six of Pentacles and the Knight of Pentacles. So I do feel like in the recent past, there was a situation where you were giving to something that you either no longer needed to be giving to, or something just stopped dead in its tracks, because it's almost as if there was a further commitment you couldn't make to a situation. You couldn't make the journey. Wherever they were going or what they were doing, you couldn't make the journey with them. Because in the recent past, you were definitely stuck in one place. I do feel like you still need to move through some things, or you actually need to be making forward movement. So let's see what's going on here in your forefront or your higher self sector. You have the Seven of Wands. I do feel like you're definitely taking a much stronger position or stance towards fighting for what it is that you want in your life. That could be fighting for a relationship. It could be fighting for autonomy. It could be fighting for the way that you would like things to go. With that, we have the Three of Swords in reverse and the Three of Pentacles. So, as I was saying earlier in the reading, I do feel as if it's quite possible that you could be dealing with more than one person, and maybe that's the way that you would prefer it to be right now, because I do think you're still going through some healing. You might also be resisting some healing at this time. It's almost like trying to distract yourself so you don't actually have to focus on what exactly the fuck just happened in your situation. You could also be focused on work, so it's just not a good time for you right now to really dive into a committed relationship. In the near future, you have Justice and the Eight of Cups, so you might be walking away from these situations. It's quite possible. Or these people could be helping you walk away from things that are no longer fulfilling to you emotionally. Personally, I do feel like you're just going to be calling it quits on all fronts, because I think you're also trying to do the right thing. Not only for yourself, but for everybody involved. And if you choose to not do that, then I feel like it's going to naturally happen, because Justice really is kind of this card of karma. So sometimes if we refuse to make a choice, it'll make the choice for us. All right, and your emotional sector. Ooh, Gemini. You have the Six of Swords, Judgment in reverse, and the Ten of Swords. So it's quite possible that emotionally you're pretty cooked, like you're done. I think that it could be possible that there was someone from the past who was kind of trying to come back in and talk to you or work with you, but you really weren't having it, so you really shut it down. You could also be experiencing just kind of, I don't want to say running yourself into the ground, but I want you to be mindful of what it is that you're doing with your time. Especially in context of me talking earlier about possibly trying to, you know, escape what it is that happened to you and not really deal with it. Yeah, I really want you to pay attention to that. Because I guess emotionally for me, you just feel very cold right now. Almost to the point of like, I don't want to say being selfish, because I'm not calling anybody out on anything, or, you know, sitting there and being like, you're a bad person for wanting things the way that you want them. But there's just this feeling of being very, very detached from what it is that's going on in your world. You really just, I don't think you have it in you at this time. So let's see what's going on around you, what's happening around you in the atmosphere. Okay. What's happening around Gemini at this time? What's going on around them? You have the Seven of Pentacles. Somebody could also be making a decision about you. Possibly seeing where their time, energy, and influence has gone. We have the Hermit, and then we have the Star. So there's some quiet time happening right now. Either someone has distanced themselves from you, or you've done this in general. Now, I will say with how you're feeling emotionally, I feel like this could be you doing this. Or, I mean, if you are acting this way and you're being someone who's just acting cold and being very, you know, calling the shots, doing things the way that you want to see them done right now, and it's not really meshing well with someone else's ideas. There's just this feeling of distancing so that someone can heal. I mean, it could also be somebody viewing you as a very healing influence in their life. Someone really valuing whatever wisdom it is that you have. I'll be honest, Gemini, this reading's a little, I don't want to say confusing, but in your hopes and fears, you have the Seven of Swords and the Five of Swords in reverse. So yeah, I'm a little concerned about, you know, if you're worried about your actions catching up with you, they just might. I mean, it might blow up in your face a little bit. You could also be worrying about somebody else doing this to you. Take it how it resonates, as always. So let's see what's happening in your outcome. God damn, that's way too many cards. Show me what's happening in the outcome for Gemini, please. We have the full moon. Maybe the full moon in Leo is going to have something, you know, happening for you. We have the moon, and then we have the Eight of Wands. I think you're going to be closing some stuff out of your life around this full moon. Yeah. And then we have the Ace of Pentacles and the High Priestess. There's something here about a new direction that you need to be going in and that you need to be investing your time in. I don't think that you're necessarily talking about this with people just yet, or you haven't revealed it just yet. You might be more open or prone to revealing it after the full moon. So I kind of want to say that maybe it's going to be one full moon cycle. So maybe around the new moon, you're going to be either openly expressing this, or you're going to see more forward movement with whatever it is that you're working on. If it's not a partnership, then it definitely has something to do with business or career. I don't necessarily see like physical movement. I don't think you're changing houses, although you could be. So let's go ahead and pull some clarifiers here for you. Let's go ahead and clarify the Two of Cups here and see what this is about. What is the Two of Cups here about? The Hanged Man. So yeah, you're having a hard time making a decision just surrounding partnerships in general. You know, I feel like it's, you obviously need people in your life at this time, or you just value being social, you value being around people. I think it's almost like you can see the healing influence that each individual person has the possibility of having. And that's, you really need that right now. I think, you know, it's quite possible that whatever situation you were involved in prior, they could have potentially, because I'm over here staring at the Six of Pentacles and the Knight of Pentacles, they could potentially have been holding you back from having social interaction or being able to give your time or energy to other people or things. So now that you have this freedom, you're definitely taking advantage of that. Let's clarify the Ace of Wands down here. Okay. With the Ace of Wands, we have Justice. We also have the Ace of Wands again. We have the Seven of Cups. And then we have the Six of Swords in reverse. To be perfectly honest, I feel like in your subconscious here, with what you're doing in your life right now, you really think that it's the best option for you, because I think you just want to have the freedom to explore what life has to offer you, especially since there could be this new sense of how do I put this? There could be this newfound sense of self. You could have had new things start up for you in your life while this relationship was happening. And it's almost as if that thing progressed. That relationship could have gotten a little more domineering or upsetting. And you didn't have the availability to just explore these avenues or these roadways that were being open to you, and you were being held back from that. So I think that for you right now, it actually is a really good time for you to explore, but at the same time, I feel like you need to have, not saying that you don't, but I feel like you need to really have open and honest communication about where you're at right now, instead of having to possibly come off as like cold to get your thing across, right? Like it's as if acting cold, you're like, oh, I don't have to say anything, they'll just get the hint. No, communicate. Like it's going to be wise for you to communicate at this time. I mean, really think about what you're going to say too. Let's clarify the Six of Pentacles with the Knight of Pentacles here. We have the Knight of Swords. So yeah, as I was saying prior, I feel like that there was someone who really prevented you from giving to other situations or people. And it's not even in a way that's cheating. It's just you had these investments that you could have made in certain partnerships or certain situations or projects, and you were prevented from doing that because you knew that if you were to go after those things, that it would eat up your time or your ability to spend time with another person, and you knew how that person would respond to that. So yeah, with the freedom that you have now, you're trying to take advantage of it. And I don't really blame you. Let's clarify the Seven of Wands, the Three of Swords in reverse, and the Three of Pentacles, please. We have the Chariot. So I do kind of feel this sense of pushing forward even without healing. You're just pushing through it, right? It's almost like you have these blinders on and you're just full speed ahead. You're not looking back. You're not looking around you. You don't even want to focus on what's happened. You just want to be here. You want to be present. You want to be in the now. But I do still encourage you to deal with this or accept this. Let's clarify the Eight of Cups and Justice, please. We have the Moon. I'm telling you, I really think that this full moon in Leo, which is actually happening right now, it is August 8th as I'm recording this. This moon is going to be kind of propelling you forward to really release things that no longer belong in your world. And if you don't do it, it's going to be done for you in some sort of way, right? Whether you want to look at that from a spiritual aspect or universal aspect, it's going to happen no matter what. I think emotionally it's time for you to do this. Whether it's you distancing yourself from the person you were with prior, you maybe finally getting closure in that situation with yourself. Or possibly having to walk away from these other people that you're involved with right now. It just feels like you're really you're breaking free and you're kind of cutting things away. Because I also do get a sense that things are starting to get a little complicated for you. Let's clarify the Six of Swords with Judgment in reverse and the Ten of Swords. Yeah, Three of Swords reverse. I'm telling you. You know, I feel like mentally you made the decision, and that fits because you guys are an air sign, but you made the decision that as soon as all this shit happened, that there was no going back. And mentally you were like, I'm done, right? But you didn't actually deal with what was going on here within your heart. You didn't deal with the emotional aspect of it. You didn't deal with quite possibly even the emotional trauma of how these things ended, or maybe you haven't even observed emotionally, for lack of a better word, how heartbreaking this ending was. Because I do feel like there's this resistance, right? There's a resistance to acknowledging how heartbreaking this ending was for you. This is definitely a continuum of the readings from last year. I feel like you've got to look at it. And maybe this is the proper time to do it. Maybe that's why you have this Eight of Cups over here with the moon, because it's really encouraging you to assess it and look at it and emotionally really accept everything that's happened and just move forward. Because at some point it will catch up to you if you don't deal with it. Let's clarify the Seven of Pentacles, the Hermit, the Star, please. We have the Knight of Cups, and then we have the Four of Cups. So yeah, I mean, I feel like whatever it is that's going on around you, either you're not accepting real tangible offers of love at this time. It's quite possible somebody could not be accepting yours, but I feel like it's the other way around because of like the defense mode that you're in. But you're just not, that's not what you're looking for right now. I think you're actually really looking for emotional fulfillment. Maybe a little bit to your detriment with the Devil here, because it is kind of leaning on the other side of escapism. You know, ignoring, right? Ignoring the healing that needs to be done and just focusing on quite possibly either wanting to party or just whatever it is that you do to escape. Let's clarify the Seven of Swords and the Five of Swords in reverse. We have Judgment. So yeah, hopes and fears is you know, you might be ending or resolving some of these situations before like Judgment Day comes, or before somebody gets found out, or before things get too complicated. Let's clarify the Moon, the Eight of Wands, the Ace of Pentacles, and the High Priestess and the outcome. We have the Ace of Pentacles, so there is that brand new opportunity coming your way. We have the Queen of Cups, might involve, could be masculine or feminine, but a water sign, Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio. This could also be an emotional new beginning for you, possibly within creativity. It's something very emotional. We have the Two of Cups, Six of Cups, Page of Pentacles, and the Four of Swords. It's quite possible that somebody from your past could be coming back. I don't think it's the person that you've broken free from, but it is very, very possible that either you are incredibly nostalgic at this time and reconnecting with old friendships that really, really mean a lot to you. There also could have been issues in these friendships, or whatever this connection was, where maybe you disconnected due to an argument, or maybe things just went sour and now is the time for forgiveness. But either way, there's been a timeout in this situation. So with this full moon in Leo, there could be the arrival of something very important in your life. It's a real opportunity to make amends. But I also think it's a real opportunity to leave behind the things that possibly could be toxic right now for you in your world. Because part of me has a feeling that whatever friendships are coming back around for you, these people are going to help you heal. I think these people are going to really, really help you get unstuck within yourself. And I really encourage you to look at that and assess that. Because I know personally I've been guilty plenty of times of sitting there and saying, oh no, I'm fine, like I'm totally over it. And then years down the road, I actually realized that I never really dealt with it. And there's that one thing that kind of like hits that spot in me and brings all this stuff up to the surface. So do what you will, by all means. But I just really encourage you to sit down and think about this if this does resonate with you in any sort of way. So I'm going to pull final 3 cards here for advice. Okay. Interesting. You have River. Feel those emotions. Allow them to flow within you. graveyard. You need to deal with stuff from the past or deal with stuff that maybe has been buried within your subconscious. I think it's time to cry, baby. Love potion. And then bulldozer. So yeah, I think it's time for you to really... Whatever's coming in is going to come in whether you like it or not. And I think it's going to take you by surprise because I think there's a part of you that's going to feel kind of like bowled over by it. But at the same time, I feel like there's this kind of like elixir or this answered prayer that's on the way to you to help you deal with this. But I do feel like right now things could be quite emotional, whether you want to accept that or admit it or not. So take your time, do what you need to do, stay in your integrity, really assess the things that don't belong in your life anymore. Because I think you need to make space for what's coming in after this full moon. By the new moon, your world is going to be a little different, I must say. But I think it's very positive, and I think that you really need to take it, whatever this is. Okay, Gemini, thank you for joining me. Also, thank you for everyone who watches these videos, who supports me, who follows me, subscribes, likes, whatever the case is. I'm really, really grateful. This has definitely been a very interesting thing for me to start doing. It was something I was very scared of doing. Maybe that's like a self-acceptance piece, but whatever. But thank you either way. I really value it. I value the support more than I can even fucking physically express. So yeah, thank you. If you're interested in a personal reading, all my contact info is down below. There's a place where you can donate if you would like to keep this channel alive. There's also my Instagram down there where you can go and follow me for daily card pulls and readings. So yeah, thanks so much for joining me, and I'll see you guys next time.